Mother 3 is a game with a number of different themes that all hit notes with different types of people. When I recently replayed the game, I could not help but notice one of the themes of the game being a major criticism of capitalism. While it is not entirely uncommon for media to have anti-capitalist themes from time to time, I find the way that Mother 3 does it very interesting. Instead of the game focusing on a capitalistic society and the underlying problems that system has, it decides to start from the complete opposite side. At the start of the game, we're introduced to Lucas, Klaus, and both of their parents, Waneella and Flint. They live in a small village called Tazmily Village that can really only be described as a communist utopia. There is no class, no government, and there's certainly no money. If someone needs something done, they either do it themselves or ask one of their fellow people to help take care of it. The game even goes out of the way to say that there's no crime in the village. As you play through the first act of the game, there are a number of pig-masked people that you run into on the outskirts of the village, doing a familiar pose. They do a number of things like causing fires in the outskirts of town and modifying wildlife because they find it too boring, and various other things to disrupt the natural order of the otherwise stable Tazmily village. But the one thing that they do that forever changes and ruins the town of Tazmily is the introduction of money. A minor character named Butch, who lives in the village, is sweet-talked by one of the major antagonists of the game to sell him a few of his pigs for what is a completely foreign object to him. This object is called money. Butch has no idea what it is, what the purpose of it is, but Facade convinces him that not only is it valuable, but is the most important thing that there is. This proves to be the beginning of the downfall of the once peaceful Tazmily village. After only 3 years, the people of Tazmily have become obsessed with money and the things that it can bring them. Consumerism, power, wealth, greed. Eventually the small town becomes too boring and doesn't offer anything to feed their need to consume, so they flee to the much more glamorous Newport City. Eventually Tazmily is completely abandoned, and most of the people of the village are completely unrecognizable. They now work from dusk till dawn to earn more money. By the time they're done working, all they can do with their time is go to the bar and drink their sorrows away. The downfall of Tazmily Village is a relatively small part of the story, but it shows us one of the major themes of the game on a much more personal level. If the player chooses to speak to all the characters in Act 1, you can get to know how they act and how they feel. In the later acts, when you speak to them, you start to notice changes going on with them, and it makes it much more personal for you to defeat Porky and his evil army of pig masks. What Mother 3 warns us of is the dangers of consumerism, greed, and ultimately capitalism. It points out that money is something completely arbitrary, and that the introduction of wealth can corrupt unconditionally. It can ruin ways of life, tear families apart, and it can turn people who were once kind-hearted and helpful into cold people with only one goal in mind: to collect more capital. Hello, I hope you enjoyed watching this little video. I had a lot of fun making it. Mother 3 is a great game, and if you haven't played through it, you really should. If you liked it a lot, please give me a like or subscribe or whatever. See ya.